So now we're just going to move on to the lower limb. Okay, so we'll start off with the glutes. So I might show maybe 2 or 3 exercises at a time, and then I'll give you a couple of minutes just so we're not taking too long. Okay, so the first one I'll show is the glutes. So your glutes are your big hip muscles down through here. They're found at the back of your hip and also to the side. So there's kind of 2 ways we can do this. So we can do it just simply just sitting on the roller. Okay, make sure you have your hands nice and close to your hips, and they can just support you. So you're just going to roll up and down on your bum, basically. So that's a really nice one. So now, that helps to roll the back of the glutes. To make it more specific to the side, what we can actually do is turn to the side. So if I'm doing my right hip, I'm going to turn to the right about 45 degrees. I'm going to bring my left hip over for balance. And then from there, I'm just going to slide up and down, more the side of the hip. I run through is the hamstring. Okay, so we had a question, I think, from Al before on how to massage the hamstring. So the hamstring runs from the back of your hip here, down past your knee. Okay, so this one's a good one just to, foam roll. So how we're going to do this is we're going to have one hamstring on the foam roller and one hamstring on the side just to balance. Okay, so again, like the back, we don't want to be up off our bum because that puts a lot of strain on our shoulders. We want to have our shoulders nice and close to the hip. Okay, so nice and close. And all we're doing is kind of rolling like that. So there shouldn't be much pressure going through our shoulders.
You should really feel your bum sliding along the floor. If you're feeling clearance, you're putting too much upward pressure through your arms.
So I reckon you can see a couple of people have their arms a bit like this, and then that puts a lot of pressure on their shoulder. So the starting point is basically start at next to your shoulder. That's it, good. And then from there, try and roll and notice the difference. That's it. Does that feel better? Less strain on the shoulder that way. Yeah, good. Good, Al. Yeah. So with the hamstring, a lot of people just go up and down, but the hamstring is muscles are kind of 3D. So we need to make sure we're hitting different parts of the hamstring. So what we're going to do now is with our hip, pretend we're going to roll our hip inwards 45 degrees now. Okay, so roll our hip inwards 45 degrees. So it should look like this, rolling in 45 degrees. We're going to hold that kind of position, and then again, keeping our shoulders nice and close. Step, moving closer. Yep, yep. And then now roll. And now you should be able to feel you've got more of the inside of the hamstring. Again, instead of turning your hamstring or your hip in, we're going to try and turn it out this time to work on the outer hamstring. Okay, so again, making sure the starting point is really important. A lot of people are starting back here. Okay, sit nice and upright. Have your hands nice and close to your hip, and that way there's less strain through the shoulder. Show the quad, and then I'll give you some time to practice. So the quad is basically on the opposite side of the hamstring. Okay, so we're going to again do just the one side. So we have one quad on the foam roller and another one off there just for support. Okay, so with this one, just kind of come down on your elbows, and then what we're going to do is just roll up and down. So you can see I'm quite relaxed. I'm not holding myself up. I've got quite a bit of weight through that quad and just rolling up and down nice and easy. Should be nice and relaxing. And playing with that whole quad, make sure we're turning our hip 45-degree inwards to make sure we got the outside of the quad, and then turning 45 degrees outwards to get the inside of the quad. So the next one I'm going to show is your adductors. So your adductors, also known as your groins, kind of run from the inside of your knee and kind of attach up to your pelvis there. So there's kind of 2 ways to do this. For the a bit more athletic people, you can kind of just do it on a little knee like this. So I like to balance on a knee, have my other foot on the adductor, and then just kind of roll that way. Okay, so that's one way. Or for those that can't get into that bent knee position, you can kind of lie on that hip. So lie flat on that hip, on the opposite hip, and then just lift that leg up on the adductor, which I would recommend for the older ones.
Or people with stiff hips.
Stiffer hips.
So I can't, as Bryan's been demonstrating, I can't get into position with the knee on the ground. So my opposite leg goes straight back behind me and that hip ends up flat on the ground. And now I'm thigh and front of hip on my opposite leg on the ground. And now I'm rolling because I can't do the kneeling position like Bryan was.
The calf. Okay, so the calf runs behind the back of our shins here, from our knee into our foot. So this one, it's kind of similar to the way we do the hamstrings or the quad. Okay, so one leg off the foam roller, one leg on the foam roller, and again, this shoulder sitting up nice and upright. Get your shoulders next to your side, and then just roll there. Okay. If you're feeling like it's not enough of a stretch, you can kind of put your other leg on top of it, and that's going to put more pressure down through that calf. Last two are kind of the first one is the perineals or your fibularis muscles. So these ones are really nice to roll out, particularly for those that have really weak feet or have a long history of rolling your ankles. So if everyone finds a little bump on the bottom of their foot there, and they kind of run it up the side of their shin, then that's the muscle that we kind of want to hit. Okay, so that's your perineal muscle. So how we're going to do this is we're going to turn, put out to the side, put our perineal on the actual foam roller. Okay, and this one needs a bit of coordination as well. But lie down nice and low, and we're just going to roll down and roll up. So again, I don't want to really see people using their shoulders up off it. You kind of want to rest your hip on the floor and then just slide down, up and down a little bit. Side of our shin, we've got the tib post muscle. So that's on the opposite side. So we find that bump on the inside of our ankle. We run ourselves up, we can feel that bone. And if we just slide it back towards the back, slide off the bone coming back, we're going to feel that muscle called your tib post. So they attach into your foot, so they're really important to work on as well. So same concept, this time just lying on the inside of your shin. Okay, so lying down on there, and you're just going to roll up and down.